The views and opinions
and otherwise wisecrack remarks
in this podcast
are solely those
of our highly caffeinated hosts.
They do not represent the opinions
of Fairchild Air Force Base leadership,
the 92nd Public Affairs Office,
or the United States Air Force.
Any reference to commercial products, companies, or services does not imply federal endorsement.
You've been warned.
Boom, 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 boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Come on, here comes the ready or not.
Welcome back to The Boom, a momentous episode of The Boom, as this is my last episode on The Boom. Staff Sergeant Ayers had his last episode last week, and as I speak, he is checking the last box, crossing the last T, dotting the last I, and he leaves this weekend for the sunny skies of Korea. Or at least we hope they're sunny skies for him, and we wish him all the best of luck. I myself have about 2.5 weeks left before I head down to the sunny skies of San Antonio, Lackland Air Force Base, where they plan to turn me into an MTI to help mold and shape the future airmen of our Air Force. It's quite the honor, privilege, and it's a little scary, definitely stepping outside of the comfort zone of your AFSC, of what you've been used to, and reporting news and taking videos and producing an award-winning podcast such as this. But I look forward to the opportunity. So it is just myself flying solo. Sergeant Ayers isn't here to rein me in. What you don't understand is there's quite a few times I will say something that he's like, yeah, we may need to edit that out. That's pushing the envelope just a bit. That's why we're a good team. I may have been the pessimistic realist, and he was the ever optimist. So let's get into some Air Force DoD-wide news. Our new Defense Secretary, Ash Carter, is wanting to make military service appealing to young people. He said this last week when he met with senior officials and had an all-hands meeting. He said that the Department of Defense needs to make military life appealing to the next generation, adding that there is no, quote, great galvanizing thing, unquote, like the 9/11 terrorist attacks to motivate people to serve. But he was quick to add that no one could wish something similar to the attacks on September 11, 2001 on the United States in the future. He was just noting that it motivated many Americans to serve. Now that we've officially ended big upscale military operations in the Middle East and our focuses are elsewhere, we are kind of, for lack of a better word, in a peacetime lull. And that's usually when it's harder to recruit people to the military, especially the younger generations. Secretary Carter noted that kids these days are different, and we need to think about how we make the conditions of service attractive to them so that they can have an onus, so to speak, within the organization and on the battlefield. He noted that they behave differently, think differently, they've grown up differently, and they're used to a different kind of environment around them, different types of technology and ways of doing things, and he thinks the military needs to make themselves attractive to the younger generation. He cited 3 main priorities, and that includes helping President Obama make the right decisions for the nation, ensuring the strength and health of the present force, and, of course, building the future military. I myself would think the benefits of medical benefits, educational benefits, hands-on job training, job experience, the possibility of travel would be enough, but I think he does have a point. This generation that's about to graduate high school or that has just graduated high school and they're in college, they are slightly different than the days of when I joined the military. But I think one of the things here at Fairchild, I know that it's helping step into the future and could be beneficial to those future airmen and enlistees, is what we're doing at Fairchild with our boom simulator. So here's the thing. Budgets are getting tight. We have to find new ways of doing things and still getting the same mission accomplishment, the same training. So regardless of those tight budgets, regardless of limited training flights, one way we're doing this here at Fairchild is computer-based technology to create virtual training scenarios. Namely, aerial refueling boom operators around the Air Force have such a platform, and it's called the BOAST, the Boom Operator Weapon Systems Trainer. And we have one of those right here at Fairchild, and it's a simulator that educates airmen on air refueling aircraft boom operations. This training, it's pretty cool being, cutting edge technology that the younger generations are used to, with iPads and touchscreen capabilities, but it's helping save the Air Force $35 million annually and providing boom ops the opportunity to practice emergency procedures without risking damage to the aircraft itself. So it's pretty cool that some of the things they can simulate are different kinds of weather scenarios and turbulence and various cloud decks, and the airmen are able to train using this simulator and get the hours they need and proficient in their skills without using up fuel, without waiting for those so-called perfect weather conditions. They're even able to practice operations on other planes, such as U.S. Navy and Marine jets like the FA-18 Hornet and the AV-8B Harrier, as well as some other NATO nation aircraft. So they're really able to stretch their capabilities using some awesome virtual simulator scenario training. And that's just some of the awesome stuff that we're doing here at Fairchild. So, yeah. Okay. Anybody being a big Oscar junkie like myself watched the Oscars this past week and had our fingers crossed for American Sniper to win quite a few of the Oscars it was nominated for. Unfortunately, they only won one of, I believe, the 5 or 6 that they were nominated for, and it was for sound mixing. I know Bradley Cooper was up for Best Actor as his portrayal of the sniper Chris Kyle. He was also up for Best Picture and a couple of other smaller categories, more so on the technical side. And say what you will, it could have been the political environment of Hollywood. However, one thing that the Oscars, I think, got right was the winner of the Best Short Documentary. It was actually an HBO documentary, and this won the Oscar. It was called Crisis Hotline, Veterans Press 1. It was about the Department of Veterans Affairs 24-hour call center for troubled veterans and service members, and it won the award for Best Short Subject Documentary. The 40-minute film follows hotline responders and captures private moments in which they're reacting to very complex and emotional calls at their day-to-day work. And I think it's, if American Sniper didn't bring that to light with its feature film, HBO did a brilliant job with this documentary. And then for it to win the Oscar, it's just getting the word out there that there are veterans out there in crisis, and they need to know that there's hope, and asking for help only makes them stronger. So here's the cool thing. When they went up to accept their award for Best Documentary, one of the directors even thanked suicide hotline workers and mentioned that her own teenage son committed suicide, and she closed with saying, "We should talk about suicide out loud." And a round of applause throughout the audience. So it's really awesome that veterans and the work that goes into helping veterans is getting out there and won an Oscar, and it's getting some FaceTime and some mentioning. So obviously with that winning the Oscar, HBO I'm sure is going to be airing that a couple more times. I'm willing to bet it'll be out on Netflix really soon in order to be able to watch it. Who knows? Some network may even pick up or pay for that documentary to be able to air for many, many more millions of people to watch and to see. So I guess it would be nice if I could just ramble on forever here on the Boom, but when I'm by myself, I do find it hard to play off of other people and to come up with more topics. So I kind of just really stick to the script as best I can. So I'm just going to start off with coming back to Fairchild announcements. Now, as you've heard us say, coming up Friday, March 6th, is our annual awards banquet downtown at the Red Lion, and you can get tickets and information from your first shirt and your supervisor. But a little added information, the guest speaker for the awards banquet is going to be Major General Hansen. Now, for those of you who have been here at Fairchild long enough, will recall Major General Hansen was Colonel Hansen and was the wing commander from July 2005 to July 2007. So he'll be back, and I'm sure he's excited to see the changes in what's happening here at Fairchild and the innovative things we're doing, like the Boom Simulator. So if you definitely want to see General Hansen again or hear him for the first time, I hear he's a great speaker. He's going to be at the awards banquet, so you may want to get tickets for those while you still can. But for those of you looking for something to do this weekend, the Spokane 37th Annual Home and Yard Show is going to be going on over at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center. It's going to feature displays and demonstrations with home and yard related products, services, and improvements. And that is going to be Saturday from 10 to 7 and Sunday from 10 to 5. If you want more information, it's being sponsored by Jim Custer Enterprises, so you can go to www.custershows.com. That's C-U-S-T-E-R, shows.com. There is a small fee for those of you older than 12, but kids 12 and under get in free. The rest of you have some cash on hand, but get some tips and tricks to make our yards look better, because I tell you what, I think we totally skipped over winter here in Spokane, and spring is here. The sun has been shining, which is a rare event usually for the month of February, and there hasn't been as much fog. Thank you so much, Mother Nature. I'm sick of the fog. So check out the 37th Annual Home and Yard Show. Now, if you're at that stage in your life where you're not too concerned, maybe you don't have a house of your own, well then check out, maybe this next step is in your future, Baby Fair 2015. It's the 18th annual event celebrating everything from bellies to babies. The fair is going to educate and entertain you, have resources and seminars, free samples, can't beat that, contests, door prizes, and much more. It's a great event for expecting parents, for families with infants or toddlers, grandparents, caregivers, nannies, anyone involved with raising a child, and that is going to be Sunday, 11 to 4 at the Spokane Convention Center. So if you want more information, give them a call at 509-242-2500. Again, that's Baby Fair 2015, Sunday only from 11 to 4 at the Spokane Convention Center. So for foodies like myself who like to go out and eat and taste all kinds of different foods and go to different restaurants, who love watching the Food Network and Top Chef and all those type of shows, listen up. Alton Brown, live, the Edible Incredible Tour. That's right. All I got to say is Alton Brown, and the rest of you foodies know exactly what I'm talking about. Alton Brown is bringing his brand of quirky humor and culinary science antics to Spokane. He will be here Sunday night at the IMB Performing Arts Center. You want more information? Check out bestofbroadwayspokane.com. But this 2-hour show is going to be a unique blend of Alton's stand-up comedy, food experimentation, multimedia, and believe it or not, even some live music. And audience interaction is strictly enforced throughout the evening. It won't be as much fun unless you are in those seats right there live with Alton Brown. So if you want some more information, again, bestofbroadwayspokane.com, Sunday night, 6:30, IMB Performing Arts Center. It's going to be a blast. Speaking of being a blast, I feel like I just started this Boom podcast, this particular episode, and I'm out of topics to talk about. With that being said, my hope is that the podcast, The Boom, which, if you've ever been wondering why in the world we call it The Boom, well, you have to know here at Fairchild, we are a KC-135 tanker base. And the main job is for the boom part of that tanker to make contact with other planes and refuel them. So we thought, the boom. It's kind of exciting. We get to say boom and do all those type of things. And Sergeant Ayers created the graphic, which actually is a graphic of the bottom of the boom with headphones around it. So it pays homage to Fairchild and to our mission as a tanker base. It allowed us to create the really quirky intro with all the various songs that have the word boom in it. So it connects with the community of Fairchild. So that's why we call it The Boom. And I'm hoping that it continues even after I'm long gone in the next couple of weeks. So it can only continue with the word getting out, telling your coworkers, telling your friends, downloading it for them, playing it on your MP3 player in your shop if you're allowed to do that. You know, Sergeant Ayers and I tried to keep it entertaining, tried to keep it informative as well. And we've been doing it since September, so this is 6 months now? And we've been doing it once a week. So this would probably be close to episode somewhere in the 20s, because there was, a couple of weeks we didn't have anything because of the holidays or mission requirements. But it has been a wild journey. It has been a fun journey. It's a journey that I hope continues. I will be looking for the boom myself, even when I'm down at Lackland. So again, as I end every boom episode, I ask that you tell your friends, tell your coworkers that you listen to The Boom!